Okay, so you're here because you like to, you know, really dive deep into the stuff that matters, right?
Absolutely.
Like you don't want to just skim the surface. You want to understand the bigger picture,
Right.
especially when it comes to health. Like who has time to be wading through, dense medical research papers?
Exactly.
That's why you're here.
Yeah.
We're going to hand you a shortcut to understanding something really fascinating,
Okay.
a potentially groundbreaking area of
So
research.
like it.
It all has to do with this surprising connection
Okay.
between your gut
Uh-huh.
and Parkinson's disease.
Interesting.
So this isn't just speculation.
Yeah.
We're looking at some pretty solid research here.
Okay.
A study that was recently featured on Science Alert.
Uh-huh.
And it references research that was originally published in a journal called NPJ Parkinson's Disease
Okay.
back in May of 2024
Got it.
by a team of researchers at Nagoya University,
Okay.
led by Hiroshi Nishiwaki.
All right.
So your mission today, should you choose to accept it,
I think I will.
you're already here, so I think you have,
Yeah.
is to really get to the heart of what this research reveals.
Right.
Because we're talking about a potential treatment avenue here that might surprise you
Okay. I'm intrigued.
with how simple it might be.
All right. Let's hear it.
Okay, so first of all, I think it's important to say that this idea that the gut and the brain kind of talk to each other in the context of Parkinson's,
Yeah.
that's not exactly a brand new idea.
Right. I was going to say that I feel like we've heard about the gut-brain connection before.
Right, it's been around for a while.
Yeah.
But this study seems to give us some really specific insights
Yeah.
that maybe we haven't really seen before.
So compared to previous work on this gut-brain axis and Parkinson's, what really makes this recent research stand out?
Yeah. What's the thing that really grabs you about this study?
I think what's really fascinating here is this very direct connection
Okay.
they've found between certain types of bacteria living in the gut
Mm-hmm.
and the levels of two very specific B vitamins. Riboflavin, which is also known as vitamin B2,
Got it.
and vitamin B7.
Interesting. Okay.
And basically what they found is that these particular microbes in the gut seem to be directly involved in the development of Parkinson's disease.
Okay.
And their presence is linked to lower levels of these really important B vitamins in people with Parkinson's.
So you're saying vitamin B, like that's the key here.
Well, it's potentially a key.
It sounds almost too simple.
I know, right? It makes you wonder if something as easy as taking B vitamin supplements
Right.
could actually be a way to help manage Parkinson's.
Are they really suggesting that?
They are, and I'll quote them directly here.
Okay.
They say supplementation of riboflavin and/or biotin is likely to be beneficial in a subset of Parkinson's disease patients in which gut dysbiosis plays pivotal roles.
Okay, so hold on. I have to stop you there for a sec.
Sure.
What exactly is gut dysbiosis?
Good question.
Like, what does that even mean?
So gut dysbiosis basically refers to an imbalance in the types and amounts of bacteria that are living in your gut.
Okay.
It's like this whole ecosystem in there,
Oh.
and when it's out of whack, that's dysbiosis.
And they're saying that that's playing a role in Parkinson's?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Wow.
So what they're suggesting is that by correcting that imbalance,
Right.
potentially through something as simple as B vitamin supplementation,
Right.
could actually be helpful for people with Parkinson's.
That's pretty amazing.
It is.
When you think about the number of people that are dealing with Parkinson's,
Right.
it's a huge number.
It's almost 10 million people globally,
Wow.
and that's a lot of folks.
It is. And one of the things that makes Parkinson's so difficult
Yeah.
is that it's often very subtle
Yeah.
in the way it starts.
What do you mean?
I mean, people can have symptoms like constipation
Mhm.
or sleep problems
Right.
years, sometimes even decades
Yeah.
before those more well-known symptoms, like the
Mhm.
motor issues or cognitive decline,
Right.
really start to show up.
Yeah. It can be really hard to catch it early.
It is, and that's what makes this connection to the gut
Yeah.
so interesting.
How so?
Because the article mentions that previous research has shown that changes in the gut microbiome can actually happen long before
Right.
those more obvious signs of Parkinson's even appear.
So these early, seemingly unrelated symptoms could be a sign that things are already changing in the gut.
That's what it seems to suggest.
It's a warning signal.
Yeah, it's like this underlying process is already
Wow.
happening.
That's wild.
It is, and this new study really dug deep into that.
Okay, how so?
They analyzed fecal samples
Mm-hmm.
from 94 people with Parkinson's
Okay,
in Japan,
great.
and they compared those to 73 healthy individuals.
So a good sample size there.
Yeah, they wanted to make sure they had enough data
Makes sense.
But it gets even better.
Oh.
They didn't just limit their research to that group in Japan.
Okay.
They took it a step further.
What did they do?
They compared their data from Japan
Uh.
with existing microbiome data from other countries.
Okay, like where?
Places like China and Taiwan,
Mm-hmm.
Germany, and even the U.S.
So a really diverse set of populations.
Yeah, they wanted to see if there were any global patterns.
That's interesting.
And here's the thing. They found that even though the specific types of bacteria
right.
that were altered
Mm.
might have been different depending on the location,
Okay.
they all seem to be affecting the body in similar ways
How so?
by influencing those pathways involved in producing those B vitamins.
Oh, wow. So even though the players were different,
Right.
the game was still the same.
Exactly.
That's pretty remarkable.
It is. So now that we've kind of established this global pattern
Oh, okay.
of gut bacteria impacting B vitamin levels,
Right.
let's really dive into how this deficiency might be leading to Parkinson's.
Yeah, let's get into the nitty-gritty of it.
What's the mechanism?
Well, the researchers, they found a clear association
Okay.
between the altered gut bacteria in people with Parkinson's
Mm-hmm.
and lower levels of riboflavin and biotin.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Right, but it doesn't end there.
What else?
They also discovered that this lack of B vitamins
Right.
was linked to a reduction
Mm-hmm.
in something called short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs,
Yeah, CFAs.
and also in these molecules called polyamines.
Okay, so I've heard of SCFAs.
Yeah.
Like everyone's talking about SCFAs these days when it comes to gut health.
It's a hot topic.
But what about these polyamines?
Yeah, so both SCFAs and polyamines are
Yeah.
super important
Well.
for maintaining the health of your gut lining,
Okay.
especially that mucus layer.
Okay, that protective barrier.
Yeah, you can think of it like a shield that lines your intestines.
Mm-hmm.
Is what helps to keep harmful substances
Mhm.
and bacteria from getting into your bloodstream.
Okay, so it's like the first line of defense.
Pretty much.
And you're saying that these B vitamins help with the production of those things.
Exactly. So a healthy supply of those B vitamins helps your body produce more SCFAs and polyamines, which then helps strengthen that protective gut barrier.
Okay, so more B vitamins, stronger gut.
Exactly. And Dr. Nishiwaki explained it really well. He said,
Okay.
deficiencies in polyamines and SCFAs could lead to thinning of the intestinal mucus layer, increasing intestinal permeability, both of which have been observed in Parkinson's disease.
Okay, so that's the leaky gut thing we hear about.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
But here's where it gets really interesting for me.
Oh, lay it on me.
How does this leaky gut scenario actually connect to what's happening in the brain with Parkinson's?
Well, the researchers think that this weakened gut barrier
Right.
allows more toxins to
Uh-huh.
come into contact with your enteric nervous system.
Enteric nervous system, so that's the network of nerves in our gut.
Exactly. And we're exposed to so many toxins in our environment these days.
Oh, yeah.
Things like cleaning chemicals, pesticides, herbicides.
It's everywhere.
It is. And this increased exposure to toxins in the gut
Yeah?
is thought to trigger the overproduction of a protein called alpha-synuclein. And, you know, normally alpha-synuclein is not a problem.
Right.
But in Parkinson's disease, it misfolds and forms these sticky clumps or fibrils
Okay.
that accumulate inside the brain cells that produce dopamine.
And that's like the hallmark of Parkinson's.
It is one of the key features.
So are you saying that these gut issues might be contributing to this protein buildup in the brain?
That's what the research seems to point to.
It's like a domino effect.
Yeah, it's a chain reaction.
So these toxins get into the gut,
Mm-hmm.
trigger this overproduction of alpha-synuclein, which then clumps together,
Right.
damages brain cells,
Dang.
leads to inflammation in the nervous system.
Exactly.
And that's what eventually causes those more severe symptoms of Parkinson's.
The tremors, the rigidity, the cognitive decline.
Wow, it's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It is. It's a whole cascade of events.
And you know what's even more interesting is that the article mentions this older study
Oh, yeah.
from back in 2003.
Okay.
And they found that high doses of riboflavin could actually help improve motor function
Really?
in Parkinson's patients,
Interesting.
especially when they also eliminated red meat from their diet.
So it's like there were hints of this connection.
Yeah, like we're not totally in the dark here.
Right. It's not like this came completely out of left field.
Right. It adds weight to these new findings.
Absolutely.
So based on all of this, what they're basically saying is that a potential treatment could be as simple as
Okay.
making sure people have enough vitamin B,
Yeah.
maybe through supplementation.
It sounds too good to be true.
Right. But they also emphasize that it's not just about popping pills.
Oh, of course not.
It's about having a healthy gut microbiome overall.
Right.
Like having a diverse and balanced community of gut bacteria.
Yeah. It's all about that balance.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And they also talk about reducing exposure to those environmental pollutants
Oh, yeah. That makes
that
sense.
that could be contributing to this whole thing.
It's a holistic approach.
It is, but we also have to remember that Parkinson's is complex. It's not like there's one single cause
Right.
or one single solution for
Yeah.
everyone.
It's different for everybody.
Right, everyone's unique.
Exactly.
So that's why this research is so exciting, because it opens the door to a more personalized approach.
Oh, I see what you mean.
By analyzing a person's gut bacteria
Uh-huh.
or the metabolites in their stool,
Right.
they could identify those specific B vitamin deficiencies
Okay.
that are linked to gut dysbiosis.
And then what?
And then they could target treatment
Oh, I see.
with things like riboflavin and biotin supplements.
So a tailor-made approach.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
It is. And the study suggests that this could be a really effective treatment.
Wow. So for our listeners out there,
Yeah.
what's the big takeaway here?
Well, this research has shown a really strong link
Okay.
between the bacteria in your gut,
Uh-huh.
deficiencies in those B vitamins, riboflavin and biotin,
Right.
and the development of Parkinson's disease.
It's all connected.
And what's really remarkable is that it suggests that something as simple as B vitamin supplementation
Oh.
could have a huge impact for some people.
It's amazing.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
It really is. And it makes you wonder
No.
if the gut can have such a big impact on something as complex as the brain.
Yeah.
What other unexpected links might be out there?
Right.
What other connections haven't we discovered yet?
That's the question, isn't it?
It is, and it just highlights how interconnected everything in our bodies really is.
It's a whole ecosystem.
It is.
Well, thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.
My pleasure.
It's been a fascinating conversation.
I agree.
And hopefully it's given our listeners something to think about.
Yeah. Get those brains working.
Exactly. See you next time.
See you later.